Happy Manga Monday! And today, since I have finally completed Bleach in 2025, with a couple volumes that I read in early 2026, I wanted to do a video to mark the occasion. However, not everyone has read or watched all of Bleach. Actually, think that a new movie or I saw a trailer for a movie of Bleach dropping, so I feel like I'm very on theme for once. Because somehow the anime is still going or something. I don't know what's happening. But I wanted to do a video on Bleach without just breaking down everything I read, because then we're dealing with a lot of spoilers. And honestly, I don't have that much to say about Bleach. I just ranked it in this last Monday's video and I had a good time with it, but it's a typical shonen, and as such, I don't know. I don't feel like it's that deep. I don't have a lot to say. But I do have a lot of judgment that I can bestow upon the characters, and specifically the characters gracing the covers of these volumes. So yeah, that's what I decided to do. I hope that you will let me know in the comments which character cover you think is the best and deserves #1 spot when we get there. I can see if I made the right decision or not. And what your #1 pick would be. And if you completely disagree or agree with my ranking. But yeah, with that, let's just dive into it. We have 74 freaking covers to go over, so I'm going to try and be fast about it. I laugh because I'm never fast with anything on this channel, if you haven't noticed, but try my best. And I just want to preface this by saying I will probably mispronounce some names. No, I will definitely mispronounce some names. Bear with me. Please don't be too harsh on me. But yeah, let's get this list started with the position of the character cover that comes in dead last at number 74, and that is Aeon, volume 39. So not the most dynamic looking cover, just a side profile of a pretty, to me, boring and forgettable character with no personality, just the desire to kill, and is not even in the series that much. Has like 2 appearances, I think, in like a volume each, respectively. So bottom of the barrel you go. Next up, one that might be more controversial to people, I had to put the 73rd spot as Yawatch. Volume 55. He is just giving smarmy. He's giving cocky, and I get it. I get that's his personality, and he makes for a good antagonist because of it. But looking at that cover filled me with disgust and rage, and just like, ooh, get your smarmy little douchey, creepy face out of here. Like, I just can't stand to look at it. His stupid mustache and his stupid face, and it bugs me. Okay, it bugs me, and he sucks, and so he's second to last because. Following that up with number 72, we have Ichibei Hyosube, volume 67. I don't know about you, but the close-up and the smile, it's creepy. It's creepy. Is it just me? I don't know. It's creepy. I'm sorry. That's all I have to say on that. That's literally all I wrote in my notes. It's creepy. His smile is creepy. That's all, folks. Number 71, we have Asken Naklivar, volume 68 cover. It's a no from me. Ew. His face is just not it. The finger guns are funny, a funny touch. I will acknowledge, but his face bugs me. It's like 99% of my critiques. The face bugs me. And I can't get over it. And then we get to 70, and that's Bazby, volume 69. Sorry, I said it like that. I'm so immature. I like his mohawk, and he was a fun character, like a nuanced character. I wish I'd gotten even more from him, which I will be saying a lot in this video, because there's something about like the way that characters get teased, or their pasts or their relations with others get teased, and then just frustratingly never fleshed out fully. But he's first up on the. I really was interested to learn more about him and his past, and we just get the littlest bit, and then that's it. So, but yeah, this cover, it just doesn't do him justice. It's just him there. I don't know. He was a dynamic character. I feel like he could have had a more dynamic cover, is all I'm saying. But I'm not the mangaka. Then we have number 69 again. Whew, anyway. And for this memorable spot, we have my best boy, Urya Ashida, volume 4. I goddamn love Urya. I wasn't being sarcastic. He's one of my favorite characters. But damn, look at this cover. Look at this scrawny looking, super wrinkly, like, with the arm. What is this position? What is this cover? I mean, I'd say a lot of the first covers of Bleach are pretty weak, especially as we go. I really, really like even the art that was below this one. I thought it's still really good. Technically, this is not to me. I don't know how this became the cover. I would love to know the backstory. That wrinkled shirt just sends me. Oh, it's so bad. I hate it. I hate it. It's okay. Uryu gets his roses. He gets a much better cover. Don't you worry. It'll be later on in this video though. But this cover is not it. Of the first batch of characters, I have to say this is my least favorite because he just deserves better, and that's just bad. But yeah, moving on to number 68, we have Dordoni Alessandro del Soccaccio, volume 28. I am just not a fan of the character on this cover, first and foremost. Okay, I like the fringe on his jacket, and I can't say he's a boring character by any means. It's just not personally my cup of tea. Yeah, he's just a little too out there, a little too weird, but not like, I don't know. There's characters that are out there and weird, and I really like them, but he just, I don't know, he bugged me. Yeah, personal preference. I didn't care for him that much. And that brings us to 67 with Giselle Joel, volume 65's cover. I do like their ability and the battles that they play in a big part of the Thousand Years Blood War arc, but those duck lips. What in the early 2000s is that? Okay, it just, again, it's the aesthetic. It bugs me. I don't like the face. Why is that the face that they chose to go with? It's not cute, and it's not dynamic, and it just makes me cringe a little. And clocking in at number 66, we have Ganju Shiba, volume 10. It's not a bad cover, kind of basic though, but I'm a big fan of this minor character. Maybe it's just me. Maybe we got some Ganju fans in the comments. Let me know. But he bugged me in a way that felt like they were shoehorning him in, especially at the end. Where did you come from? And why? And for what reason? You did nothing. What did you contribute? Did I miss something? I literally felt like I missed something. Like, what was the reason he tagged along and what did he contribute? I don't know. But yeah, both times it just felt like he tagged along with the main group because of his own selfish desires. And in the first arc, where he's like introduced around this cover of around volume 10, it makes more sense. He has a personal interest, and it's not like he doesn't have a personal interest in the fate of the world, but I'm just saying, like, he always just felt so shoehorned in and so unnecessary and so useless. So useless. I'm sorry, Ganju. Oh, but that's my hot take on him. 65, we have Kaien Shiba, volume 30 cover, and while this man did, for his limited time appearing in the series, tug at my heartstrings, his and Rukia's backstory, it got me. I struggle to, when I look at this character, be like, who is he? He's in it for so little. I do recognize he's a pivotal point in this arc, in this backstory of Rukia's, in her growth and her development as why did he deserve a cover though? I don't know. I feel like other more deserving covers to be had, personally. Smile is charming, but it's just kind of just not very dynamic, and it's not like he's a huge part of the story. Yeah. Coming in at 64, another favorite character of mine with a very bad cover. We have Urahara, volume 6 cover. I love him. I love his character. He's, again, one of my favorite characters, but this cover is boring. It's a snooze fest. Like, it's mostly just his back on the cover. Like, head slightly turned. It's giving nothing. And this character has so much energy. Such a dynamic character. So wily and weird and wacky in the best ways. Like, I love this character and his unhinged energy. Why is his cover so boring? And sadly, we do not get another cover of him, so this is all we get. Urahara deserved a better cover. Justice for Urahara in the comments. Anyway, moving on to another early crap cover, and that is coming in at number 63, Ichigo Kurasaki's volume 19 cover. I didn't like the 19th cover, okay? I know it's not super early, but it's earlier. And it's my least favorite cover of Ichigo. Like, it's doing a whole lot of nothing. And he has so many covers. We could have given this cover to somebody else. He's got like 5 covers. I know he's the main protagonist, but still. Number 62, we have Captain Commander Genrusai Shigekuni Yamamoto, volume 58's cover. But yeah, the 58th volume cover. And it's a pretty good cover, but I don't know, nothing special. I also just don't super, love the Captain Commander. I mean, he's like a force to be reckoned with. Sure, he's commanding. He's an intense character. But yeah, so there was no emotional weight to want me to put it any higher either. So then number 61, a character I do really, really like, but I don't really, really like this cover of him. Luckily, he is one that gets a second cover, and that's Renji Abarai's Volume 11 cover. I enjoy parts of the design. However, the cover as a whole feels awfully flat to me. It lacks any emotion on his face, which, I mean, some of these covers really display some great range in emotions and stuff. And overall, just the lack of charisma. It's just Renji standing there like it's any other day of the week. Like, I mean, other than his sick-ass character design to pull him up, there's nothing else to say about this. It's just, quite frankly, basic. You bore me. We're moving on to my number 60 entry. We're to the 60s already. Yay! And gracing number 60 is Ichigo Kurosaki again, his Volume 1 cover. It's iconic. Okay, it's iconic and nostalgic to me, which is the only reason it got up this high, because it's wonky looking. Not as bad as Uryu, not as bad as Ishida. Nothing could be that bad. But the hand holding the sword is weird. It just looks physically awkward, I guess. And his face is also just not doing it for me either. I know the art in the beginning is a little rougher, and that's just like par for the course. It's just, yeah, I give it a bit of boost up from the nostalgia and the iconicness of this being the first volume of Bleach. But that's as much as I'm giving to it. Entering the 50s with 59. Coming in at 59, we have Uetsu Nimaya, Volume 66's cover. I like this character. He's kooky and strong, but just not special or remarkable enough in a cast that is stacked with interesting characters and interesting character designs and strong abilities and cool powers, and nor does this cover really stand out or remarkable enough. So that's where he goes. And then 58, we have Old Man Zangetsu, Volume 61 cover. I put this higher initially, and then I realized it's basically just the same cover as Volume 8, which we'll get to, except for the centering. So I don't know, I just feel like try something new. I've already seen this, and I liked Volume 8. I felt like that was different and cool in the perspective of it being upside down. And but if you do the same thing again with the same character, it doesn't hit the same. I don't know. So I lost quite a few points for that unoriginality. Then coming in at 57, we have Sosuke Aizen, Volume 12's cover. This, to me, is my least favorite Aizen cover. He is definitely coming across as non-threatening, non-confrontational, scholarly, but it's also boring. It's just him dead center staring off into the distance, looking like a harmless little peach of a guy. But yeah, just not it for me. And then number 56, I put Leppi and Tenor, Volume 26. I probably butchered that one. I mean, they're just sitting there. Like, it's kind of cute, don't get me wrong. It also didn't leave an impression on me in the long run, so here they sit. And at 55, we have to go back to the early volumes again with Rukia's Volume 2 cover. It's meh, it's just her pouty face superimposed. It's, again, not giving me much of any emotions or any dynamicness or in look at her character. Like, I don't know, some of these covers are creative and they kind of show off a little, and then some character covers are just this. And no offense to Rukia, and luckily she also gets a much better cover later on. But yeah, I don't know, I don't like it. It's not the worst, obviously. And then in the 54th spot, we have Shinji Hirako, Volume 36. They do my boy so damn dirty. Why is it just his back? I want to see his face. I don't like the back ones, okay? Obviously, you can tell. I'm not digging them. I mean, see the face, the moneymaker. Give me the moneymaker. Plus, like, you could do one like that. You already did Urahara with his back to us. Like, why do we need another back shot? Like, I don't know. I feel like that was like I'm gonna phone it in day. I don't feel like doing faces anymore today. Like that was what was up behind the scenes with Kubo. And then at number 53, we have Shinji Hirako again, volume 21. So I, again, really like this character. However, I prefer him with the long hair, but we already saw how crappy they gave him in the long hair treatment. So it was even worse than with the short hair version. He's a good character. I like the character overall. Could have had a better cover. And secondly, he's so small on the cover. He's taking up such little real estate on it. He's just turned away, and I like his outfit. I will give him his flowers for his outfit. It's nice, but it's just, again, mostly his back to us. His face slightly more to us, but like, I just wish he got better. He deserved a better cover. I'm getting so irrationally angry about it. So stupid. Anyway, clocking in at 52, we have my boy Chad, volume 5. It's slightly more dynamic than a lot of the early covers, but mostly I just love his shirt. Okay, the shirt is popping. It's colorful and fun, and I like Chad. I wish he got a second cover. He's the only one of the main group that doesn't get a second cover. It just feels a little bit dirty to my man Chad here. He deserved a second cover. Like, whatever. I'll get to that when I get to the little intermission I have planned where I say which characters deserve to be on the covers. But yeah, anyway, he's a good character. I like Chad. I just can't give this cover any higher point because it is basic. It is basic. But we gotta give Chad some love. And then 51, we have Grammy. I have no idea how to say the last name because it's like French and I'm not French. I think it's French. I don't fucking know. Anyway, I'm an uncultured American swine. So volume 64's cover of Grammy is okay. I do like how it fits his ability, kind of like half emerging from the cover, kind of like playing with the imagination, as his power has to do with imagining things, and what he imagines comes into being. So it's like he's being imagined onto the cover. And I enjoyed the battle with him, between him and Kenny. Between him and Kenny. But I don't know, it's not doing much for me. The colors are kind of blah, and it just kind of, yeah, it's kind of there. I do give it points for creativity and, you know, at least trying to incorporate his abilities and do something with that. And then we've gotten to number 50 with Hanataro Yamada, volume 14. While this character does nothing for me, very, very forgettable in my opinion, I do like how much emotion we get in this cover. The tripping and the falling, and it's so on brand. It is the embodiment of his character. And for that, he made the top 50. He tripped and fell his way into the top 50 because it's given something. And I have to appreciate that. And then at number 49, we have Kyugi Oppi. Again, another name I have no idea how to say. Volume 56's cover. I do like the character being bathed in the red, and I found that to be unique before I got more volumes of this arc and realized most of these covers in this 1,000 years blood war is bathed in red, so that made it a lot less unique. But he is still an effectively scary and intense antagonist, but only briefly in the story. So for that reason, he gets to just plop down at 49. 48, we have Mayuri Kurotsuchi, volume 35. This clown guy, yeah, I just called him clown guy throughout the whole thing. He's creepy. Yeah, he's interesting. From his weird inventions and character design, I feel and felt throughout the series conflicted about him because he was one of the characters I found the most interesting and wanted to know the most about. But I even though his character design is interesting, I didn't like it. Maybe it's like an aversion to clowns, but like he looked like a clown and it was just too weird. So I just kind of plunked him right here. It's not quite halfway, but you know, kind of in the 40s. I feel like that's mid. Like he can be mid. And at 47, we have Yami as volume 41 cover. I gotta say the cover is giving this just raw intensity and oomph. Like just oomph. But yeah, I'm not a fan of his character, and so he lost some spots because of that. A character biased, what can I say? If you were ranking them, you would be too. Don't pretend you wouldn't be. I'm trying. And then at 46, we have Yukio Han's... Why do they have such intense names? My god, Yukio. As volume 53 cover. And I'm not actually a huge fan of this character, so it did also drop it down a bit more because of this. But I really appreciate the one side eye, the fit. Being upside down too is a fun bonus. I do like the different placements on the cover. I feel like Kubo really played with the space in the cover, and when he really does get creative with it, I do enjoy it, and that's why I get disappointed when he doesn't really do anything with it. And then we have number 45 spot, which is graced by Zale Aporograns. Again, a terribly hard name for me. Volume 31. I must say I adore the pink hair. I want pink hair. I can't bring myself to bleach my hair. I'm too afraid. But I love pink. I love pink hair characters. So yeah, but both his character and this pose is just so over the top. So it just kind of ended up here. It's like your pink hair isn't carrying you that far. Coming in 44, we have another one of my all-time favorite characters with Grimjaw Jaeger Jacques, volume 32's cover. I definitely don't love this particular Grimjaw cover, as his other one gets much higher from me. But yeah, we'll get to that later. But while it's giving fierce, and I do love the emotion, and the placement is unique, I don't really love it. I don't love where it is so high up, and yeah, even though I really love his character, I don't know, this one was just whatever to me. So the mid ones go in the 40s, what can I say? Plus it made it easier that I have another cover I like of him much more. And speaking of characters I really like, we have number 43's Byakuya's volume 7 cover. I love this character, and his side profile is giving, but it's not giving that much. That's like all I can say about it. I can't justify putting him higher than this, even though this itself is probably too high, but it is my list, and I love Byakuya. So yeah, he gets to be in the 40s. And coming in at the 42nd spot, we have Kugo Jingo, volume 50 cover. I like the splash of the liquor, I think it's liquor, I don't know, the brown liquid across his body. But there was something I didn't like about this character from the get-go, and one of the reasons I just didn't like this arc that he's a major component of in general. To me, the full bring or execution arc was the weakest arc. I had the least fun. I had to really push myself to keep reading. I mean, it wasn't all because of this character. It was also because we did the whole protagonist loses his power thing, but we have, 30 more volumes to go, so gee williker, I think he might gain it back, so there's no stakes, and I kind of just don't care, and can we just give Ichigo his powers back already, because I'm done with this bullshit. I'm sorry, I don't just don't bother. So yeah, there were a few reasons, but this whole arc in general, I just was not it for me. But yeah, with him particularly, there was just something about his attitude, his interactions with Ichigo, or whatever it was, that I didn't like. And while in the end I do feel justified in not liking him, I really just didn't care for him and what he brought to the series as a whole, and specifically the arc, and it was just boring to me. So yeah, I think it just ends up there. But I don't think his cover is the worst cover out there, obviously. 41 spot goes to, and I'm just gonna say, the Captain General of the Soul Society, volume 45's cover. It's looking pretty badass and intimidating, if I do say so myself, but that's about all I feel about it. I don't feel super strongly about the Captain General. Anyway, moving on to the 40th spot, and we have Sajin Komamura, the 62nd volume cover. It's a fierce cover, and I really feel for this character. I would have preferred a different cover, I guess. It's giving just pure Wild Wolf, where like his whole arc and story was like about not just being a beast. I don't know, I wish we'd seen either his transformed side before, or his pre-Soul Society side with the whole robe or something. I don't know, just the superimposed face gives full wolf, and I just feel like that's contradictory to the whole point of the character a little bit. I don't know, maybe it's the accepting of the wolf side, maybe that's the message of it's going for, but for me it's fierce, but that's it. Can't give it any higher. 39, we are returning with Zangetsu, the volume 8 cover that I talked about previously. Yeah, spot the difference. Do it. Point it out to me, because he's upside down and he looks very, very similar to the other cover of him, with like just a slightly different font. Like it's bold versus non-bold. I don't know. It's just, yeah. But I do like the black and white. It's stark. It's dynamic. but you know, it's just a spirit of the sword at the end of the day, or whatever. Sengetsu is. So, you know, not a huge character to me. 38, we have Tosen's volume 44 cover. I love the dynamic pose, and I think this character is also pretty interesting, and I also wish we'd gotten even more about him. He, you know, his questioning of morality and justice and good and evil, like when we focused and when we got to actually hear him talk about his views and things, and why he was doing the things he was doing, I was intrigued, I was listening, I was sat. Honest to God, like, that's as much as we get, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I get it to some extent, but then not. Yeah. And then 37, we have Ratsu Uno Hana, volume 59's cover. I like the way her hair splays out. It covers a lot of that empty space, playing with the empty space on the cover. And I did enjoy learning more about this character, who was always in the shadows up until this point, where we finally get a little more from her, and it's basically just an information dump about her past. And that's it. And that's just, I don't know. I feel like I had an issue with the way that this particular mangaka chose to give us the backstory and when they chose to give us the backstory, because we do get some information about these characters, and I appreciate that, so that they don't feel as one note and one dimensional. However, I just never feel satisfied with the way it plays out. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too picky and holding him to a higher standard, but that's just me. And then we have a 36 with Masaki Kurosaki, volumes 60 cover. I can't put Ichigo's mom any higher or lower than at this very spot. I liked seeing a bit about her past and actually learning a bit about Ichigo's mom, since she does play a large part in not only the 1,000 Years Blood War, in a sense, but obviously like affects Ichigo a lot, what happened to her, and you know, herself, and the raindrops falling down on the character. It scooched it up a little more. I liked how melancholy yet kind of peaceful the cover looked. And then coming in at 35, we have Kukaku Shiba, volume 9's cover. I love the expression and dynamic pose. However, Kukaku is a pretty minor character, although playing an integral role in the first major arc when they all go to the Soul Society in the beginning of Bleach. But other than that, you know, she only really pops up like 1 or 2 more times briefly. Yeah, but I like Kukaku, and I like this cover. 34 goes to Tsurushi Sanderwisi. I just know that's not how you say her name. Volume 29's cover. While being a kind of forgettable character to me, I have to admit I love her character design. I love the aesthetics, the expression, the layout. It's giving peak camp, and it's so fun. So I had to put her up a bit higher just for that. Just the umbrella, the details, like, come on. How can you not enjoy this cover? And then at number 33, we have Noitra Gilga, volume 33. I do love this character design, especially the hand coming towards us off the cover gives that dimension, and the little tongue lick doesn't hurt. But again, it's not like my favorite character, so it stops it from going even higher, because, you know, my personal preferences do play a part, and not gonna lie. And then 32, we have Gin Ichimaru, volume 47. I find this cover striking, simple, but a good use of the full cover space again. And Gin is also another interesting character that I just wish we got a little more depth and background about. I don't know. I just felt like it was character development. It was teased, but not often. I felt like fully fleshed out. But maybe that was on purpose, to keep them a little bit mysterious. Maybe I'll give him that. 31, we have Yoruichi Shihoin, volume 17's cover. And look, okay, again, I love my girl. Yoruichi is a great character, and I love her attitude and her like kick-ass OP fighting abilities. But damn, Kubo he did her dirty, okay? I get the embodying her cat form, you know, giving cat form energy type of idea. But I'm sorry, this pose is both overly sexualized with her booty cheeks just fully up in the air, and yet it's not hot. Like, objectively, it looks weird to me. Like her leg behind the arm, it's just awkward. And I don't, you know, and don't get it twisted, I am all in to sexy shots of my girls, but this one just feels more forced and not cute or like I said, really hot. Like it just feels like he did my girl dirty. Yeah, she deserved a better cover than that. At the 30th spot, we have Nemu's volume 71 cover. I find her character very intriguing, also quite pretty and badass, but the cover with the arm positioning is just quite frankly odd. So it ended up here. At 29, we have Matsumoto, volume 46. She is a very pretty character, and there was with Gin, there's like that something between these characters, and I would have been interested to learn more. However, we don't get more. But yeah, I do like her character for the most part. I like the flashbacks we get and her interactions with Toshiro and Orihime especially. And yeah, it's just, but the cover itself is just kind of static. And right next to her, and 28th spot, we have the other Gin cover, volume 20's cover. I really, I do feel like I would have liked this character even more. I really liked him in the Soul Society arc and stuff, and from there. And yeah, he just seemed like a more complex character, but we didn't get to dive into that. And yeah, I mean, I like this cover. It looks like he's peering into my soul. It's kind of intense. I also grapple with if he even deserves two covers, but like if I had to pick, I would keep this one, and then the other one was just, that one could have been a different cover in my opinion, but that's just me. And the 27th spot goes to Ichiko and Rukia, the final cover, volume 74. I mean, it's the final cover. It's also momentous in a way, just like the volume 1 cover is, and I will say it is much more artistically nice to look at than volume 1's cover, so that's how it got so much higher up. However, standing on its own as just a cover, to just looking at this cover, yeah, I mean, it's not super dynamic cover. It's just, yeah, I get it embodies Ichigo and Rukia's 74 volume journey, and I do appreciate that. But I don't know, I would have actually preferred to see all of them on the cover, all the main cast of characters that we got to follow throughout this journey. To me, that would have been a more peak ending cover, especially because we never get more than one character really on a cover until this final cover, and then we only get the two. But I do get that the whole story begins with these two characters, so I'm not, totally against it or anything. Obviously, it ended up in number 27 spot. It's not bad. And then in the number 26 spot, we have Dear Harabel's volume 42 cover. This Arankar is hot. And I don't mean hot like Yoruichi is hot, but her cover is not hot. I mean, this is hot. This is smoking. This is making me feel things. She's a babe, okay? A babe. And I'm into it. That's it. That's all I got to say on this character, because really the character itself is not that integral. It's not that memorable. That's a hot character. I'm so biased. And at 25, we have Nell 2's volume 34 cover. I had issues with where to rank this cover, because I do really like this cover. I love her aesthetic. I think she's also a hot babe. But unlike the previous Arankar we just talked about, Nell, and I don't think this is giving too much away, but Nell has another form, and it's that of a child, like an itty bitty one, looking like a 5-year-old maybe. And I get that she's like this non-human entity, so I shouldn't be hung up on it. But it always gave me a weird feeling of like, how do I come to terms with my feelings on Nell? Because it's a weird character to me. I don't know, it gives me an ick a little bit, but yeah. So I put her in the 25th spot because on its own, I think this cover is amazing. Nell's character, I have mixed feelings on, so I justified it to be put right here. And at number 24, we have Kenpachi Zaraki, or Kenny, and his volume 13 cover. I like him. He's another one of those crazy, badass, weird characters that really works for me. He works for me. He's a little like weird in the beginning. Like I don't feel like he was a character I immediately fell in love with, but the more I was introduced to him and the more he became, I don't know if it was Stockholm Syndrome. I don't know. I really grew to like Kenny, and he's crazy and fun. And yeah, the open shirt there in the middle, that's not hurting either. Kenny's a big boy. I'm just saying. But yeah, I like the dramatic black and white composition. Overall, it's a good one. I mean, we've entered the upper 20s now, so obviously all of these covers are like my favorite. Like I'd say like 30 and above are all really banging covers in my opinion. But yeah, coming in at 23, we have Shuhei Hisaki's volume 38 cover. And it's another fun, dynamic cover using his weapon. I wish we would have seen more of this in the covers, because the movement of his weapon and just like, you know, incorporating it into the cover, the blur, the movement, it's just, it's nice to see. It's dynamic and exciting and different. And I don't know, I wish there are so many Bleach characters with so many cool powers. We could have incorporated more of them in the cover, I feel like, but oh well. Another cool character design, another cool character that I wish we'd gotten a little more of. He's kind of just like one of those many background characters with a cool design. But yeah, I love his tattoos. I'm not gonna lie. And the 22nd spot belongs to Shukuro Tsukishima, volume 52. I find this man hot, okay? Hot as I'm just stating that. Just right there, right out in front. That's why he's so high, okay? Okay, I'll continue now. I have said I am not a fan of this particular arc, which he is also a main character in, but he is one of only 2 characters that I enjoyed, and I found the mystery of him and his power to be very fascinating. So yeah, the black and white is giving, again, I do like a stark black and white cover. I don't love seeing up his nose. Like why is that like the perspective? It's not the best perspective we could pick. This man is hot, and we have just gone over this. Like, he deserved not to be having us look up his nose. Yeah, the 21st position goes to Yumichika Ayasakawa, volume 37. I just like this character, okay? Does the cover feel a bit bland, and have I, you know, taken points off for that before? Yes, but his weird need to always look flashy and cool in front of everyone, so even to his detriment that it holds him back in fights. And I don't know, I find his character quirk endearing, and it's just nice to feel like he's a more fleshed out character, and a likable one, a funny one. His banter is great, and yeah, the cover just is nothing super special, so he couldn't enter the upper echelons of the top 20, but he's still cool as fuck, of course. Before we get into the top 20, we have a little intermission, a little fun intermission to go through the character covers I'd have rather liked to see, or am just surprised, I guess, that we didn't get these covers instead of some of the ones we did get. But yeah, if you don't care at all, then skip to this point and resume with the ranking of the actual covers we do get. So these are in no particular order, they're just as I thought of them. So first up is Rukia's Bankai form. I do appreciate that we get 2 covers for Rukia. However, I mean, this Bankai form is beautiful, it's stunning, and like I kind of mentioned with the other character using his chain sword, I would have liked to see more character covers that embodied their powers and showed that. Like I think that could have been really cool and just like upped these covers just even more. But yeah, especially hers, it's just sick as fuck. And on the topic of Yoruichi and a cat pose, okay, if you're gonna do her in a cat pose, do her like you do later on in the series. This is giving cat energy plus hot energy, okay? This is commendable. This is the Yoruichi we like to see. Is it still a bit perverted? Yeah, but at least it is giving hot to me. I feel it's much more appealing, this one, versus the actual cover we get of her. And excuse me, but why did Toshiro not get another cover? He's a huge player, and you missed a huge opportunity to get a super hottie cover with adult Toshiro. Like, look at this beauteous man. Oh, when I saw adult Toshiro, I nearly lost my shit. I was like, nobody told me this. I was not spoiled on this. I love seeing this. But maybe I've spoiled it for people now, I'm sorry. But I mean, it's not a bad spoiler. Look at this man, he's looking fine. Plus, I'm biased, and he's another fave of mine, so I would have liked to see another cover of him. And yeah, we have like 5 Ichigo covers, and yet Ichigo's Vastalord is never on a cover. I think that's criminal. I mean, honestly, that's like, that. This is a badass character design. It's creepy as all get out. It's intense. Why isn't this gracing a cover? Honestly, I would have taken Ukiura's second cover and given it to this form of Ichigo, or just paired them like one on one side of the cover and one on the other. Like, I think that would have been badass. I don't know why only one character gets to grace the cover. And then, of course, like I kind of mentioned when we got to his one and only cover, Chad 2.0. Chad deserved another cover. And look at him. Look at him being a hot badass. Like, look at this man. He's sexy. He's fine. Like, he deserves another cover with his amped up character powers. And it's just, I don't know, it just honestly feels disrespectful to me that, like, of the OG cast that we are introduced to in literally the first volume, he doesn't get a second volume cover. Like all the other ones do, but he doesn't. Ichigo gets 5 and we can't spare Chad one more cover. It's a crime. It's a crime. I cannot believe it took me until I was editing. At no point before did I think about this, but there are two more characters that I really think should have gotten a cover. The first one is Shunsui Kyoraku. And yeah, his character design is top notch. He's a major player and like gets more notoriety as the series goes on. And I just really like him. He reminds me a lot of Urahara. In his mannerisms and just the way he like doesn't take anything too seriously, but then you realize he really does. But yeah, I don't know. I think he's great. So why the hell did he not get a cover? That's crazy to me. And the second one is actually his assistant, Nanao Issei. She is a little like more understandable because she's not in it like in the series as much, and she is more of a background character, but I feel like a lot of background characters and minor villains or antagonists got covers, and she plays an integral role in defeating a big bad along with the captain, her captain, in the final like arc in 1,000 Years Blood War. So like, how did she not get a cover either? Like, and these, like, I think these would have made for some badass covers as well. So yeah, plus she's just super pretty. I love me a glasses girly, yes. But yeah, just had to add that because I can't believe I didn't think about it until I was editing it. But it's criminal that those two also didn't receive covers. And lastly, I am not upset about this cover, but I did want to include it because I thought it was interesting, and I kind of was surprised when I thought back on who didn't get a cover that Kon didn't grace any of the covers. I mean, I would have preferred him to be in his plush form. I do think it's cute, but he is just a nuisance and a menace and an unnecessary comedic relief character in the end, so I really couldn't care less if he was on a cover, but it would have been a cute, you know, playing into that mascot trope. So I was just surprised to realize he never really got a cover. Just, yeah, had to add that in there. But yeah, like I said, didn't care either way. And with that, we return to our top 20. At the 20th spot, we have Ukura. Yeah, his name was always one that I just kind of called Ul. His volume 40 cover, and I like the only half the face and the one wing. It was cool, but like I kind of mentioned, I would have liked to see him and Ichigo's Vassal Lord in that same cover. Like, I think that would have just like peaked the cover personally, you know, or had Ichigo in that one instead. But I like he's a cool character. I again wish we'd gotten even more of him, but he's giving dark and menacing vibes, and he's a great cover overall. Entering the teens at number 19, we have Baragan Lucinbarn, the God King of Hueco Mundo, volume 43. This cover and character design in general is just so badass to me. I am always a fan of Death God, Shinigamis, and Skeleton King vibes. And so to me, this character design was peak. This cover is just giving such cool energy because of this character design. So I mean, yeah, is he a huge character in this series? No. But again, I had to give in to my aesthetics and just be like, he's pretty badass when he does show up. He's a good antagonist, and his character design is just so good. In number 18, we have Jugo's volume 70 cover. He is pretty, okay? Jugo is pretty. I can't help myself but think he's such a pretty boy. He's so handsome and mysterious. And he feels misunderstood. Like, I feel like if I could just get some more time with Jugo, I would like to learn more about him. Because there seem to be layers. Him and Bazby's relationship piqued my interest. Came out of nowhere, but I was intrigued. And yeah, and his side profile, I mean, he's a handsome man. Wasn't as a love. The green coloring, it's not bad. It is kind of a weird choice. I don't know why they went with this like greenish color personally, but he's a good looking man, so he can pull it off. And then 17, we have Ikaku Madarame's volume 23 cover. I love this crazy bald bastard, the dynamic duo to our pretty cool boy that graced my 21st spot. They're just a couple of funny guys. I love their banter. I love their dynamic, their friendship. It's great. And then with Kenny as well. I do again wish his cover was even more dynamic. I felt like it was a little bit more than Yumi Chika's cover, but I do, you know, so that's how we ended up a little higher. But I do love both these characters equally. And then coming in at 16, we have Orihime Inoue's volume 27 cover. Okay, again, I love my girl, but I hate seeing her sad. Okay, the cover is just her forlorn, lonely expression. It hurts my heart. I don't love to see it. I mean, I put her this high because I love her and I think it is a very beautiful cover. Okay, beautiful, but she's beautiful, so obviously. But it just makes me sad. I wish she could have gotten a happier cover because she's usually such a happy and bubbly girl. And that's a part of why I love Orihime so much and why she's like my favorite female character. It's just her energy is contagious. But yeah, I do understand this arc. She was lonely and forlorn. So it makes sense. But like, I just feel like she should have gotten a little happier cover. And then 15, we have Hollow Ichigo, also called Shirosaki, 25th cover. And I love the off-center nature of this cover and just the way he's looking completely unhinged. Like just the tongue sticking out, and it's just fantastic. I know it's not technically Ichigo, but it's probably one of my favorite Ichigo covers, if not my favorite Ichigo cover. And then we have 14th spot with, once again, my boy Cypher. I didn't write down his last name in the other one because I'd already wrote this one because it was the volume 22nd cover, so it came first, so I wrote it down first. But yeah, Cypher is so much easier to say, but my boy I'm still going to stick to that. And like I said, I really love this character. He is giving me just so much swag energy. Like, he's just badass, swaggy energy. I don't know how else to describe it. He's looking top tier right there. And then in the 13th spot, we have Rukia Kuchiki's volume 54 cover. Definitely such an improvement to her second volume cover for sure. I really like how dynamic it is perched on the pole, and it's just, you know, she's at least in this cover giving us some of her badass and intenser energy, and yeah, so I appreciate it. That in 12th spot, probably one that will surprise, possibly even confuse some people. We have As Not, volume 63. I didn't expect to put this one as high as I did, okay? I am honestly surprised with myself. But I love everything from the deep blue color of this character on the cover to the character design itself to the villain's ability. It's interesting. I keep staring at it. It's got this creepy, unsettling horror vibes feeling, and I just love it. So it ended up pretty high on this list, I gotta say. The character isn't in that much of the series, so probably weird to be up this high, but I am still, at the end of the day, judging the covers mixed in with my, you know, pretty biased feelings on the characters themselves. But I do really love this cover. And coming in at the 11th spot, just under the top 10, we have Riruka Dokugamine's volume 51 cover. I may have disliked this arc, but goddamn, I love this cover. This was the second of the two characters I did enjoy that we were introduced to in this arc. Like I kind of mentioned when we got the first one, I kind of liked. But I also just especially love this cover. I love the pink, the donut, her character design in general. I mean, I am obsessed. She's cute through and through. And although I couldn't put her in the top 10, just know it was very close because she's so gosh darn cute. And now we go into our top 10, starting off at the number 10 spot with Aizen's volume 48 cover. God damn, it's a badass cover. I mean, the balance of the character design and his piercing gaze, it's definitely a top tier cover for me, even though the volume itself was a bit of a letdown. Just like how I just felt like things were really ramping up and built up so much just to kind of abruptly end. But in the same vein, I felt like it still had a lot of good battles in that first part. So yeah. And Aizen was a really good antagonist. I from his character design to the twists, to his weird twisted desire for how to shape the world around him. Yeah, interesting character. And then at number 9, we do have Ichigo. I guess there was one cover of his, you know, that I actually liked more than the Hollow Ichigo. His volume 49 cover. It's just, I love the coat and the 1,000-yard stare. It's giving, don't mess with me. I've seen some shit, you know, and that's about right. You know, at volume 49, he has seen some shit, so it feels apropos. Then the 8th spot goes to Izuru Kira, volume 15. I also probably, I kind of expect maybe some pushback from putting him so high, but I really enjoyed the small bits we do get of his character. Though again, as I've said so many times in this video, I would have, of course, loved a little bit more, or a little bit more. And I love his ability and how it just really makes the cover stand out to me personally anyway. And 7th spot goes to my girl Orihime, the volume 3 cover. It's classic and nostalgic in a way that the first volume is. However, to me, it's an actually good cover. It's a good use of space. The way she's laying with her feet up, you know, the scarf thing is a bit odd, but it's stylistic and satisfying. And obviously I love my girl, and I love the balance it brings to this cover. And yeah, I'm not going to deny the, you know, that it gives me that classic nostalgia feeling from when I read these first few volumes back in the day from the library, checking them out. They only ever, I think, got the first 6 volumes, so I think that was all I ever actually read up to. And then in the 6th spot, just below the top 5, we have my lovely Toshiro Hitsugaya, volume 16th cover. I have always loved Toshiro since I watched the anime growing up. He, you know, since a kid, he was just one of my favorite characters personally, and he's probably the one that started me on loving the classic OP short king energy, you know, like another one of my huge favorites, Levi. But yeah, I don't know. Just saying, there are some similarities. I love the behind the shoulders angle and his expression, like he's kind of mid-fight and like seeing who's behind him as an opponent or an ally. Like, I don't know, it's just, yeah, it's really good. And especially I adore him. Coming in at number 5, we have Uryu Ishida. This cover is way better than the previous cover of his. Oh my god, night and day. I love his character. Like I said, he's top 5 characters from Bleach for sure, and I'm just so glad he got a better cover because he deserved it, and he's looking so handsome and so serious and just perfection. And then number 4, just beating him out, is Renji Abarai, the 73rd volume's cover. I have said a lot in this video, okay? I admit I don't like when the back is to me, but when that back is fucking filled with tattoos, there's an exception. He is pulling it off, okay? He's pulling it off. He's got the back tats, and he's giving hot energy. Also a much more superior cover than his first cover appearance, giving the badass energy that he's exuding, and the cherry on top, of course, tats. Okay, it's immaculate. It's all together. I love it. We've reached the top 3, and my 3rd spot goes to Soifon. Volume 18. I love my girl Soifon. I just love this girl. She is just badass energy. She's never quit. I mean, all the characters a bit are, you know, never till I die. I will keep standing up. You know, I don't care how many times I get knocked down, but I still love her attitude. I love her go-getter nature. I love her always bettering herself. I love this cover with the mid kick. I mean, she's literally about to kick some ass, and I love it. Quite perfection. My only complaint, of course, would be wishing she was a little more prevalent in the series as a whole, but at least she does get a sprinkling throughout the series in its entirety of appearances. And yeah, I don't know, from the first time she appeared in a volume when they go to the Soul Society, I just was like, there's something about Soifon I just really like. Her and Orihime, my favorite girls. And then the number 2 spot goes to Grimmjow's volume 24 cover, the superior cover in my opinion. I mean, goddamn, him reaching for me, yes daddy, please. Oh my god, it's so good. Oh my god, and the character, I just really enjoy his over-the-top chaotic energy. He's like the Aaron Carr version of Kenny. I am kind of butthurt that they never get to fight each other because I think that fight could have been epic. But yeah, plus that design, I love Grimmjow's design. I am sorry, like the hair, the fucking blue, the way the bone, whatever mask or whatever it is, I love it. It's so good. Okay, his design is flawless. But I had to give my number 1 spot to my number 1 daddy. That is Byakuya. It's volume 57 cover. Oh my goodness, he looks so good. So intense in the throes of battle. And he's looking goddamn good even while he's bleeding. It's like perfection. Plus I love his character. And that's why he gets number 1. Because it's a beautiful, beautiful cover. And I love him. But yeah, I mean, you could fight me on the top 5 all day long. I love all the top 5, even the top 10, to be honest. You could fight me on them, and I'd be like, yeah, I'd probably give in. Like this cover could have gone here, and this could have gone there. Sure. Moving around, I don't care that much. But that is just how I felt after reading all 74 volumes of Bleach and seeing all the really cool covers. I don't know why, just the covers really engaged me. I know they're not like the best covers, but even as a kid, those classic Bleach covers, janky as some of them were, really stood out as being a bit different and dynamic, and just the way there was this stark character image on the white background. It's just iconic in a way. So I don't know. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was another long video. Yeah, so I appreciate you all for taking the time to watch, and hopefully you will let me know what your favorite character from Bleach is, and if they had the best cover in your opinion, or does that spot belong to someone else? Because I had a few favorite characters and not all of them made it, you know, well, most of them made it to my top 10 at least, but some of them deserved better covers in my opinion. And yeah, let me know who you think deserved better covers, or just didn't get a cover and you wish they had gotten a cover, because yeah, I shared them on mine and I'd love to hear some of yours, and anything else you can think of. Let me know. If you like the video, subscribe before you go, and until next time, bye!